Hey guys, SharkyPwnHerbivore here, bringing you a review of Mortal Kombat 9. Is it steak or is it broccoli? That is the question we all want to know. Should we chow down on it or should we just throw it in the garbage? Presentation first, with the graphics and the sound and the non-controlled actions being cutscenes, etc. Now the presentation of this game, well, let's talk about the graphics first. The graphics in this game are, they're average. I wouldn't say they're good, I wouldn't say they're bad, and I'd give one thumbs up, I'd give one steak for the graphics, and I also give one broccoli because I feel like the graphics sometimes don't meet the characters that they're going, and some of the backgrounds are kind of shitty. But mostly, I think the graphics are a bit of a wash, so I'll give one steak and one broccoli for the graphics. In terms of sound, it's also, I'm giving one again. I'm giving another wash here with one steak and one broccoli for the sound, which I find is solid, I guess. I just have a few issues with the background music sucks, and a few of the moves don't really sound right. But other than that, I think it's a wash. I don't see any noteworthies. Cutscenes and fatalities and all the gore and stuff. Now this is good. This is a good plus of the game. I give this a steak up, and no broccoli, just 0. No minus or more broccoli. We just get a nice steak here, a solid +1 steak, not a huge +2, not a fat steak for the cutscenes and fatalities, because they don't. It's not really the game. Like, it's a fighting game, so I'm not gonna base a review off of that sort of stuff. Just, it's a plus. Okay. And now we start moving on to the meaty stuff. We'll start with what modes are offered in Mortal Kombat 9. The story mode. Again, this is a fighting game, and the story mode is irrelevant. Okay, let's face it. In a fighting game, multiplayer is pretty much the point to a fighting game. So I don't really take much in the story mode, but there is a good story mode, so I'll just give it one steak, and I'll give it a +1 for the steak column, because just, it's there and it's good. It's a solid story mode. Can give you an extra few hours of gameplay, but other than that, it's a fighting game. Stick to the multiplayer. Challenge mode, I have this at 0-0. I don't give a shit. This has been done in other games, and I haven't given a shit. It doesn't really add anything to the game. It's just there if you want to be a challenge whore, or I'm not really sure. But Sharky, as a fighting game fan and a hardcore fighting game player, one of my favorite genres, I don't give a shit about the challenge mode, and I don't really think you should give a shit either. It doesn't weigh onto the review of this game. Next, we got the online, and I like the online of this game. It's good connections. We get pretty solid connections on this game. I don't have too much of a beef. It's pretty good. So I'll just give it one +1 on the steak column. So now we go to the gameplay, which is the most important part of the review, and this is where all the professional reviewers are complete idiots, okay? And this is where I might start to bash this game, because up until now it sounds like it's a pretty solid game. But let's start with the characters, okay? The characters are a bunch of... They don't make us care about these characters. These characters are not unique. We don't care about them. They don't have unique movesets. They're all extremely similar. They all have one range attack. Like, they all have extremely similar combos. There's no story to each of them. So I'm giving this no steaks and 2 broccolis. So we're just, the characters are garbage. Stick it with the broccolis. The green stuff. It's just awful. Really disappointing, because they have characters. Like, they have the Sub-Zeros and the Scorpions and the Jacks and the Shivas, and they just don't use them to the best of their ability. Like, the characters are not unique. You just don't you don't feel like it matters who you play that much. Well, in terms of like care for the characters, you don't really care for them, like connecting with them or any sort of giving a shit. And then we go on to the game balance. And again, this game is absolutely unbalanced. This is a terribly balanced fighting game. Just going back to the characters, they just didn't seem to put enough time into the characters and the actual combos, because it seems like some characters have really good attributes and others are just complete garbage. Just characters that you don't really want, like, that don't have the tools. And this is a young game, so people are going to say, oh, the results, people are using different characters. Trust me on this. You look at the top tier characters and they are godlike compared to the bottom tier. And I don't, it's just everyone playing them sucks at the game. I mean, I'm not saying I'm good at the game. I'm just saying that these characters can exploit stuff so much better than others. The balance of this game just gets 2 broccolis. Another 2 broccolis, no steaks. Not looking good for the gameplay so far. Now we go to game mechanics. So, how's the fighting system? Well, it's clumpy, it's slow, and it sucks. I don't know what else to say about that. It feels really clumpy compared to something like Street Fighter, and really sloppy compared to something like Tekken, and the blocking is absolute shit. It's so hard to block. Just because of, it's just bad game mechanics. The fighting mechanics of this game are weak compared to the other games in the genre. This is shit. And once again, we're giving no steaks and 2 broccolis. Fun factor. So you're at the party and you're like, hey Sharky, what do you want to play? We'll see. You guys want to play some Mortal Kombat? And that's where this topic comes in. How much fun do you have playing this game? And you do have some fun playing this game. It's a pretty casual game for noobs. So being for noobs at a party, it's not a terrible game to put on. But at the same time, if you're a hardcore player, you won't have fun. Like, you'd have to be a fanboy to have fun playing this. This is not a hardcore fighting game. And as much as it wants to be, this is not. There's not enough, like, different strategies that you need to apply. Like, basically you have one character who has the same strategy, and you have to use that strategy, otherwise it doesn't work. Now, I go to a game like Soul Calibur, I have different matchups that each character presents individual matchups with other characters. I go to Tekken, same thing. I go to Street Fighter, not as much, but it's still better than Mortal Kombat at this sort of intense fighting genre. So, in terms of fun factor, if you're a noob, it's going to be fun, and if you're not a noob, it's probably not going to be fun. So we'll give it 1 steak and 2 broccolis for that. Replayability. There is good online, so you can replay this. But other than that, the single-player modes are not really that varied. It's the same shit. The AI is very predictable. Weak AI. So I'll just give the replayability a +1 for steak and take a broccoli. So a -1 there. Compared to its competition. Now this is a major fighting game, so I'm comparing it to Soul Calibur, Tekken, Street Fighter, even Marvel vs. Capcom, Dead or Alive. Those are a little bit lower. And this game doesn't really stack up. Like, in terms of overall package, what you're getting with this game is not up to par. The hardcore fighting fans, you're not going to find that this game is not as good as the other ones, basically, what I'm saying. So I'll just give it 2 broccolis. It's weak in the major fighting scene. If you're a noob, it's a good game, pretty much. Its own series. How has it progressed the Mortal Kombat series? Do I think it has? Yes, I think that it has, because the online play and the graphics have improved, and some of the new characters, it's progressed it in the terms that it's better than the last one, but the last one was bad. So I don't know what that's saying. So we'll just give it a +1, -1. We'll just give it a wash. Let's give it a steak and a broccoli. So overall, the verdict on Mortal Kombat 9, the next generation of Mortal Kombat, supposedly a huge release selling a lot of copies. What's the verdict? Well, let's add up the totals. We have 8 plus steaks, and we have 14 minus broccolis. So we're 6 in the broccoli. So this game is a broccoli according to my stats, meaning you don't want it. This game is not worth your time. This is not a worthy game to buy unless you're a complete noob. And I am not a noob, and this game is not something I play on a consistent basis. I have it, obviously, and I do not enjoy it. If I'm going to give it a score, I'm going to give it about a 6.8 out of 10. And I'm a little bit harsh on the scores just because that's kind of how I am. If you want to know, like, I'm not going to give, like, it's rare you see me give a game above a 9. So a 6.8 out of 10 is not a bad game. It's a passable game. But for me, just too many negatives. My overall opinion on this is too noobish. Okay, the gameplay mechanics and the characters make this kind of forgettable for me. There's no real, like, wow moments when you're playing the game with your buddies. Just not much incentive to play the game over the other fighting games I already have. Alright guys, it's SharkyPwnHerbivore here. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, daily content, more reviews. Let me know what game you want to do next. I'll probably go into the other fighting games. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.